trafficking, which is mostly women. You look at the drugs that are pouring in at levels like they've never done. We had a lot
Both topics that seem to have disappeared all of a sudden under the
nobody
Biden.
talks about that. They don't talk about the human trafficking. They don't talk about drugs. The drugs pouring in through the border now, they're saying they're up by a percentage. It's not, I don't even want to say it because it sounds so ridiculous. You would almost say it can't be fact, but I think it is. We were stopping everybody. I had 28,000 Mexican soldiers at no cost to the United States stopping it because I said, first of all, I have a great relationship and a lot of respect for the president of Mexico. I think he's a terrific guy. And he understood the problem, but it was also a Mexico problem because people were pouring through Mexico. He didn't want to have that either because they're not just coming from Mexico. They come from Honduras and Guatemala. They come from El Salvador, but they also come from the Middle East.
There you go. Walk right in front of my
And we
video.
have some very bad people coming into our country, and you don't hear that anymore. In fact, if you really notice, you look at the newscasts, for the most part, they don't want to talk about the border crisis, but it is a crisis and it's a humanitarian disaster.
When we talk about the most basic definitions of a nation state, you have a central form of government, you have a border, and a means to protect that border.
Right.
That's the basic definition of a nation state. And these were nonpartisan topics in our lifetimes. They weren't political issues until the Democrats made them political issues. So, hypothetically, if our migration crisis right now consisted of Republican voting migrants from Hong Kong,
Right.
instead of Democrat voting migrants from Latin America and Central America, would the Democrats still be for open borders, or is this...
No. They know open borders are not good for the country, but they feel their votes, or they're incompetent. And I haven't determined which one. I happen to think it's incompetence, but a lot of people say I'm wrong. They legitimately want open borders. When I look at the people coming in, and when you really analyze it, the people coming, they're being released from prisons to come into our country. These are killers. These are gang members, MS-13 in particular, but the worst of all the gangs. They make the Hells Angels look like nice people, okay? These are gang members. These are vicious people, and many of them are coming into our country. And not only that, drug dealers and human traffickers, and all of them are coming in. And I'm not talking about, 1% or 1/10%. I'm talking about a large number of people. They're walking up, and they're coming up right now. You take a look at what's walking up to our country right now. Tens of thousands of people are migrating into the United States. So I used to say, because politically it can't be good. It can't be good. Does that help them get votes? I don't think so. Now they say that someday they'll be voting for them. I'm not so sure because I did so well with the Hispanic vote. All the border towns along Texas, look at the numbers. It's been a big story how well I did. So I don't know that necessarily that's going to be good for them from a political standpoint. I don't think it matters because if they rig the vote, what difference does it make if they get people to put on a different hat 5 times a day and go in and vote as a different person? So let's see what happens. But I would hear that they want open borders. I'm not sure they do. I think it may just be incompetence. But time will tell.
Trump reiterates none of these crises would be bearing down on America had we had a fair election in 2020, a topic Americans want to investigate, but politicians dare not touch. When we return, Trump talks election fraud. We'll be right back.